also want to say thank you all for being here. I know it means a lot to us. The first sentence, maybe. It's going to be pretty difficult for me, since I never thought in a million years that at the age of 23 that I'd be doing a eulogy. You're my best friend. Please bear with me because this is super hard. My cousin was born on March 9th, 1996. Ken and Michelle. Even though he was the youngest, he soon became the not-so-little brother to Mary Helen and Jesse. His childhood consisted of growing up in Portland and later in Yakima, where he went to his first high school. He excelled in sports and made some lifelong friends along the way, including the mother of his children, Daniel and Brian. He said he moved to Gresham from Yakima and he finished out high school at Reynolds High. There he played football and adopted the name Big Country. When he first started at Reynolds, he would tell me how many city slickers there were. But nonetheless, he made an abundance of friends. Even my sweet little lady Grandma Cece made it out to one of his games. In her eyes, he could do no wrong. As soon as he got out of high school, he got his first big boy job at Reagan Products. Some days he would call me after work driving on Marine Drive, and next thing you know, he was at my house and we would play cribbage and talk for hours. I remember one time for Monica's birthday at LMU, he said he was just there waiting for us. We searched for a good 20 minutes and we couldn't find Josh anywhere. I decided to go get a drink from the bar and call him. Come to find out, he was in the bar the whole time just talking to the bartender's ear off about how to make his drink. I go up to him and ask, hey, what's taking so long? Drink. He said, oh, just waiting for my Scooby snack. Josh was definitely one of a kind. He was your best friend whenever you needed a friend. He was the kind of guy that if you were upset about something, he would just drop everything just to be there for you. Which generally meant you sitting in the truck and talking for hours. In closing, I would like to share some words from Josh. It doesn't matter if it's death, a breakup, or the loss of a best friend. We will always love them till the day we die. They will always be on our minds and in our hearts. In the words by Josh, working up to something greater. Never stop moving forward in life or work, always push for a new best. Psalms 13 says, how long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long must I wrestle with my own thoughts, and day after day have sorrow in my heart? There is so much more I want to say, and I wish I could say, but there wasn't enough time. This life was too short. I wish I had more time. I wish Josh had more time. Now, since the slideshow has already been playing for a little bit, if anyone wants to come up and say a few words of how you guys met or a story about you guys, feel free to come up and say some stuff.
He was a great uncle. We had fun together. Sometimes he used to tickle me so much. I loved him. Love you, Josh.
Can we sit from our seat?
Okay.
Well, I didn't really try to prepare anything to say, but Josh, even though he wasn't blood, he was there my whole life. He was like a brother to me. Ever since he moved away from East Valley, I did go to high school with him for a while. Ever since he moved here, He would always come to Yakima and visit me, like surprises. Every time I meet him at work or at home, he would just show up. He wouldn't even tell me he was coming to Yakima. From all the long talks in his truck to the being there for me and showing me different ways in life to show me better from wrong. I kind of just, it's hard to say that. It's hard to say things because I miss him a lot. But it's kind of hard to see someone, that good of a heart. He warmed everybody's heart. He had a lot of friends, a lot of family. No matter what, he was blood. And every time you were a friend, you were always blood to him.
This is from his friend Colin, who couldn't make it here today because he's out in California in the military. He wrote, Joshua Cermack was one of my closest friends for about 6 years. He was a hardworking, yet laid-back kind of guy, easy to talk to. We could easily spend hours together having a couple of drinks and just talking about life. But I will most distinctly remember him as a dependable friend, someone who would show up when you needed it. I remember a time late at night on Mount Hood, I slid off of a road and into a snowdrift. Even with hours of digging, I was still stuck. So after hiking to a place to get cell service, I called Josh. At about 1:30 a.m., he made the hour-and-a-half drive up to where I was to tow me out of a ditch, only to make the drive back down the mountain and go to work. That was the kind of friend Josh was. There was no doubt he would be there for you. We had many adventures together, and some of them I will never forget. Despite the pain of his absence, there is no doubt Josh leaves many good memories, and we were honored to have him in our lives. Rest in peace, big country. We will always love you. Your brother, Colin Wells. And for me, my first memory of Josh was we were at my mom's house, which is just down 122nd. My sister and us were all playing tag, and I somehow tripped over a dog toy or a dog bone, and she fell on top of me, and then he fell on top of her, and so both of them, and I was 4 or 5 years old, so I was small, and I had her, and then Josh, and I somehow got a bloody nose, and that was my first memory, was us playing tag and all of them falling on top of me.
Does anyone else want to say a few words? Or a memory? Or how you guys met?
There's too many bad ones.
If no one else wants to say anything.
All right. So for about the last 4 years, me and Josh have had a standing tradition of going to the House of Shadows together. And every single year, it's something I've always looked forward to because every single year we do something that is just super memorable. The first year we went there, they had some lady that was dressed up as a witch, and we went in there and she said, "I'm gonna take your soul," and he said, "Sorry, I already lost that to a ginger." And then the following year, we went again, and they had this big slide that you had to go down. And there was 2 slides, but he decided to take the one I went down, and he did it right after me. And, well, everyone knows how big he was. He came down, and he hit me like a brick. And then the following year, if anybody's ever been to the House of Shadows, they'll put you in a box. And trying to fit him in a box with you and 2 other people is really difficult. And I was the first one stuffed into the box. And the person who built it wasn't that very good, and they had a nail that was sticking out, and all I could feel was Josh pushing me into that nail. Oh. And so I don't really know what I'm gonna do this October without him, but it's gonna suck because he was my best friend. He was always there, and he was somebody I really looked up to.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I was the other victim in the accident. I was the other one in the car. And I met Josh about 3 months ago. The last 3 months, I spent almost practically every day with him, always doing something new. and I couldn't ask for a better friend. You know, like everyone's saying, he's always there for you when you needed him. Every night when I'd get off work, he made sure I didn't have to walk home. He'd come and pick me up, never asked for gas money, never asked for anything for in return. You know, it's just the best friend that I could have ever asked for. And just the whole scenario, you know, was the hardest thing that I've ever had to go through. And it's just all the time, I know it's hard to say, but it's like all the time I wish it was me, not him. And it's just something that I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of the life. And I just want to say, everybody, appreciate for everybody for coming.
Hey guys, he was my son. He's my friend. You know, it's not going to be the same. But the memories you do have, cherish those. As I said before, people that you care about, give hugs, tell them you love them. Always tell me you love them. And does anybody else have anything to say?
Sorry guys, give me a minute. So, Josh was really close to me and my family. I met him through an old friend I had. And he would nonstop talk about his kids with us and appreciate like everything he's had in his life. We had some good times. We had some times where it was like he would get on my butt sometimes about certain stuff I've done. And that was one thing I loved about him, was that he always tried to sit there and like help me through my problems and was always appreciative for things that me and my family have done for him. I would never in my life thought it would be him. But that night that something happened, my whole family knew something was going on. We thought somebody we knew it happened to. And then a couple days later we found out, and it just broke all of our hearts. A lot of, my family had to come home early from work for it, because he was that much of a big brother to me. We may have not been blood, but he was like a big brother. And it hurts me to say that he's gone, but I know that he's still looking down at us and all of us, and he loves all of us, and I know it. He would always talk about his family and how much he loved them and how goofy they were. I've met some of his family. They are a little goofy. And he would nonstop talk about his kids and how he loved them and how they were such great kids. He even used to show us whenever he would go and visit them, he would always send me videos of his kids, and I would say hi and stuff like that, because it warmed my heart when he would sit there and talk about his kids. And the only thing I really could think about when I heard was, how are the kids doing? How is his family doing? I wanted to check on him, but I was like, it's not the right time. And I love him to death. I do, like a big brother. I just hope that everyone can slowly get through this. Thank you.
Does anyone else want to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Deanie, or Dean, some of you know me by. And we decided that I'd just call him my stepson because Kenny had him after we had separated, and he and Michelle were together. And I've prayed for that boy since I knew that he was coming. And just so many memories that They were small, but like my mother, Eva, and her best friend Helen, Mama Helen, and they thought he was the cutest thing, and he was exactly what Kenny deserved.
Yeah.
They were so much like Kenny. And it just was sweet from the get-go. One of my favorite stories is he was about, I think about 3, and it was Christmas, and we'd had Christmas Day place, and Kenny picked Mary Helen up in the evening and had Josh with him, and we were at the Dillards, and Mary Helen ran downstairs to see her little brother, and then she said, I have to say bye to my grandpas. And so she comes up to give my dad, Johnny, and Grandpa Dave, and Grandpa Johnny a hug, because he said, they're grandpas? I gotta hug them. So he ran up the stairs and introduced himself and gave him a hug. He was so funny. I'm so grateful. My last words to him that Sunday at family night were, I love you, please be safe. Anytime you can, with the last words you say to somebody, be I love you. If you're angry with them and they're going to work, you tell them I love you. You may not like them at that moment. That's not the point. This is a family that we've created out of love. We're a bunch of people that aren't even supposed to get along, let alone love each other. But we do. And I know that love is going to help heal our hearts. And just remember to reach out and hug somebody and your family, whether it's blood or a family you've created. Just love them, because you never know. You never know when's the last time you're going to see or talk to them. So I just, I thank everybody for being here. This is so wonderful. He's got so many wonderful friends. And you guys have been so great and so supportive online and here today. So thank you. And Christian, I don't know where you went. There you go. We're so grateful to still have you. You are loved. You're a part of this family. You're stuck with us. I won't make you laugh. I know it hurts. Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Josh was actually their dad, and he was like their dad when he was playing with me and playing with brothers. But it just sad when he died. And Josh was my friend.
I don't know where the other little girl went, but she said she wanted to say something else.
I remember when he first saw me when I was born.
You remember that, huh?
He was gonna birth me because I was so little. But he got over his fear and he held me in his arms. He loved me so much, and I loved him.
You know, I just got to talking to her backpack behind her.
Yeah.
She remembers about me taking her bare feet and hanging her upside down. So that's the memories we wanted, Josh. That's best memories we want from anybody we love and care about. And that's what we have, memories. And a place in our heart. And unfortunately, this is my daughter. She can talk now. I don't do real well.
All right. Josh just wasn't just my brother. He was my best friend in the whole world. I never thought I was gonna spend the rest of my life without him. I thought we were gonna grow old and be ornery together.
Take care of me.
Oh yeah. The rock, paper, scissors games would have been hilarious at like 60. He had so much love in his heart for everyone. He was the epitome of the best friend. He worked so hard to be the best dad that he could be. And he was trying and practicing on his nephew. And so many cribbage games, dinners out, anytime, night or day, or even if we just felt like it, we just randomly showed up at each other's house.
Sure.
And he would always give you a call saying, "Okay, I'm here, come get in the truck." Or he'd come in, use the bathroom, and then be like, "Okay, let's go."
Sure.
He was, honest to God, the person I felt closest to in the world. And it was me and him to the end. No matter how hard or whatever we had to do, it was us against the world. He was the greatest. And I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to end it.
One of my earliest memories of Josh was me wanting to kill him. It's like, I don't know, was he 9 or 10? We were snowed in at his dad's house, and he was being an obnoxious little pain in the butt just for fun. I almost slugged him. It was one of those moments where you had to catch yourself and say, no, okay, he's too little for that. I thumped on him over the years, and in the last couple of years, every time I dunked him, he'd just turn around and look and go, what? He was tough as nails. He had a heart of gold. We always stuck by each other no matter what. It's guys like him that make you want to keep going and keep fighting. Just remember that every day that he will always live on through you. So if you see someone in need, someone in help, that needs help, give him a hand, because you know that's what he would have done. Josh.
Mary and I were talking about, what he would do in a situation like this. Because obviously he'd be sad for whoever it was for. But he would want to drink and eat and be happy. So that's what we're going to do. But before we end the whole talking about him.
So Daniel and me were his kids, and we go to Michelle's and all the time play with him, like ride our bikes and stuff. says nice plans, but now he died, so we don't get to hang out with him now. He was actually dad. He was a nice dad, and he was super nice to us and Brian and Daniel, and he was nice to everybody, but I hated that he farted. Josh was a great dad for me and Brian. It was fun playing with him.
Honestly, I don't know what to say. It's all happened so fast. No one can really catch up with anything.
I met Josh last year for about a couple hours, but within those couple of hours, he talked about his family, saying you're all crazy, but he loved all of you.
True.
But my one and only memory that I've had with him and his family is we were playing cribbage. Well, him and Monica were playing cribbage. And he went to go use the bathroom and let me play for him for a bit and told me exactly what to do. I did exactly what he said, and Monica started destroying what he told me to do, and he came back and blamed me for all of it. But in that small time of meeting Josh, he loved all of you, and I seen that, and he cared for all of you, so.
So I've known Josh for almost 1.5 years now, and he was someone that helped me get through a lot of dark times, and he was a mentor and a friend to me, and more of a brother than my brothers have been to me. Anytime that I had a problem, he was there for me, and as you know, he was loving and caring and just a goofball around. The best moments with him is just the car drives and joking around with him. It hurts not being able to call him anymore or being able to text him.
I know you're gonna cry some more. Okay, so am I. Everybody, does anybody have anything else to say? I'll let her cry for a second. I'm gonna. You got one more?
So sorry that this isn't normally what he does. But they had a really good relationship. Josh actually gave me the approval of keeping this one because he was like a brother to me. But he was kind and, like, honestly, he would just show up whenever at my house and, like, come say hi to the family and stuff like that.
Does that in everyone.
Yeah. He had a kind soul. Like, whenever you were around him, he would somehow make you happy no matter what mood you were in. Like, if you were sad or you were upset or mad or something, he'd somehow calm you down and talk you out of being that way. I have many memories with him. I think one time he actually had to stay at our house because he went to a bar a little too long.
Oh, no, true. He just got drunk.
Yeah. And he ended up popping over at the house, and my dad's like, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I got a little too drunk. Can I stay here?" And my dad just opened the door for him, and he was like, "Yeah, come on in." And that night, I'm actually grateful that we let him in, because you never know what would have happened if he had to drive home or something like that. It's scary because it was on a weekend, and you know how people are on the weekends at night. My parents didn't want anything to happen to him because he was very close to us. No matter who you are or how close you are to us, if you're drunk and you don't think you can make it home, go to our house. Go to someone's house. Just don't drive. Because you never know. Your last goodbye, like anything you say to someone, that could be your last word. That's how it was with me and Josh. We would, last time I said that I loved him and everything, like he was my brother, was the last time I saw him in person, which was like a month before it happened. And I really wish I would have seen him before it happened, but I couldn't. And I understand he had some things going on at the time too. But it hurts me that I couldn't say I love him one more time. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
You know, all the good memories are great. Keep them, save them, do whatever. But never forget. And always give yourself and your family the love that you want to give the person. And the one you would expect back. Even if they don't give you anything, just tell them you love them. And I think with that, and my lovely niece that's crying herself, how about we sit there and have some drinks, some food, and we can tell stories back and forth. Oh, now Michael wants something.
Whoever's drinking is seriously bending the rules here.
Everybody raise their hand. Okay, we're all drinking, okay. Anyways, the food's around the table, the coffee's there. Thank you. Yeah, anyways, you guys.
Thank you. I'm funny.